Yeah. What it do, y'all? It's your brother, man, from the motherland, coming to you guys live from the NY, back with another one of that ROD pod. For those that don't know who I am him, Junes. The echoes for the El Kebulan kidnaps and the ACs that's looking to get their land back. Want to give a shout out to the ancestors. Want to give a shout out to the creators. Want to give a shout out to the El Kebulan deities that hover over us. And last but not least, I definitely want to give a shout out to the people, because it's through you why me is here keeping my foot on all these heathens' necks. Round of applause for that. As you guys can see, sipping nice and slow. You know how it goes. And tonight, should I say, I want to touch on something that usually I wouldn't touch on, but after doing, in-depth studies and research and finding information, I come to the conclusion that every black person in America should take June 19th and June 20th off, because we owe that to the ancestors. You see, we owe it to the ancestors who was still being enslaved, still going through the trials and tribulations for 2 years before they even knew that there was a law put in place to free them. Now, for me, when I think of this, I think of the oppressors, okay? These individuals who knew this but decided not to tell them because they wanted to grab every milk, dollar, cents out of the people. And because of that, it is important for me, as a El Kebulan kidnap representative, to represent them accordingly. Now, this is not about me participating in an American philosophy, ideologies. I'm just standing on principle, because I owe that to the ancestors. I owe it to the ones that was taking the abuse physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, taking on all of that just to bear a child for 9 months, to push forth, and that child push forth, just for us to be here today. You see, when I think of my people, I don't just think of these mystical stories that people want you to believe. I don't try to grab the things that I can't reach. It's just insane. I try to stay focused on the things I have control over. I try to stay focused on the things that I know without a shadow of a doubt connects to me, where it's facts over beliefs. And the fact of the matter is that our ancestors was working 2 years. So in June 19th, it took 2 years after that for our people to realize, or even been told, that they was free. And because of that, we're going to, or should I say, because of that, I will ask every single colored person, black or brown, to take the 2 days off in respect for your ancestors. And not only you should take the 2 days off, you should prioritize your appearance. So tomorrow, I will be coming out wearing my El Kebulan shirt for both days. You see, I'm gonna uphold and I'm gonna continue letting the world know where I stand. Because the world is in complete chaos and everything is being divided. You see what's going on in the Middle East. You see what's going on here on the West. You see the debacle that's going on in Haiti, and it's going on all over. I just seen something where the Muslims is overtaking London. It's just pure crazy. I seen something where a man, was it Florida? But he was somewhere in the United States, and he said that they're not going to stop until America becomes a Islamic state. Now, I don't care about none of that. I used to, but I don't care about none of that. The reason why I don't care about none of that is because none of that will ever override the shit that we got to go through and the shit that we've been going through for thousands of years. We're not going to just say the 400 years. We're going as far back to King Alfonso of the Congo. And when he converted the people into Christianity. Now, I will forever hold that man responsible for the genocide and the invasion and the taking of El Kebulan. I will always hold that man accountable. Because when you go down the rabbit hole and you break it down statistically, and if you pay attention to even modern day times, the Congo, out of all parts of Africa, the Congo is the only place that suffers the most. It suffered the most under Leopold, and it's suffering the most right now. It's a reason behind that. You see, you guys are still so brainwashed and believe in the story that these people are telling you when the shit is right in your face. And the aftermath of the treason that Mr. Alfonso, because I can't call him a king, Mr. Alfonso, he changed his name to Alfonso. Can you imagine a black as my glasses walking around talking about my name is Alfonso? Because of that, that is the reason why El Kebulan and especially the Congo has been suffering to this very day. So for me, knowing what I know, researching, reading books like the PTSS, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, a very powerful book that I advise everybody to read. I'm right now trying to get my Wiz to read it, and we've both been dealing with a lot of things as far as not having the time to. But definitely is something that I really want her to read, even though I know she's on my type of time. You know what I'm saying? Like my Wiz is the female version of me, and that's a beauty. I love it. You understand? Trust me, she know it. But in reality, when you know the things that I know, it's only right that you represent the things that you got control over. You see, we got control over our ancestors, right? You can't ask your mother about your grandmother. And if your grandmother is alive, you can ask her about your great grandmother. You see, these are the things that we must do all the time to ensure that our knowledge of self gets passed on from generation to generation. And not just passing on the knowledge, but understanding the trials and tribulations that they went through to get you guys here. And we've forgotten that. We have allowed these people to not only make this day a national holiday, but made it a national holiday for everybody to get PC out of it. And that is something that we will not tolerate. I believe that every European should go to work. Why are you taking the day off? Aren't you guys the same people that says, why do they need a day off? Why? Why do we have to acknowledge it? Now that it's being acknowledged, you want to take full benefit of it. No. Keep that same energy, Karen. Go to work. Enjoy your time. Sing Kumbaya. Listen, look. When you go to work, you could finally go to work and it could give you that Jim Crow feel. It can give you that segregation feel. You know, the things that you like, you get to have it for 2 days. And it's wonderful that it falls on a Thursday. Because if it falls on a Thursday and they take Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you see them Monday, you got 4 days to yourself. You got 4 days to be amongst your peers and just talk bad about the niggas that you don't like. We know how it goes. You got 4 days. 4 days. But it's not 4 days for you to reap the benefits out of it. Last year, at this time, I went to Domino Park. While in Domino Park, I'm thinking I'm just going to be there, by myself, me, my son, probably find a couple of Hebrews somewhere lingering around. But miraculously, what do I see? I see Europeans laying down, getting a tan, putting their feet. I'm like, wait, hold on. Why are you here? And I don't want to hear, but I'm not the one that went against it. I support it, bitch. You ain't with nothing. You see, one thing I realized about this system and white supremacy, I realized that the biggest weapon that they have, listen to what I'm about to tell you guys. The biggest weapon that they have is silent treatment. Not talk about it. Not give their true opinions on how they really feel. But whichever decision is made, they're going to stand with it. So whatever decision the system makes, they're going to stand on it. And I see that. And I'm like, wait, hold on. This doesn't show that you in support of Black people. This doesn't show that you respect and understand what Black people went through. No. This is you saying it is what it is. If they're gonna give these Negroes a day off, I'm taking a day off too. You see, but the Black man could never have something for himself. See, the Black man, matter of fact, hold on. I wanna share this too. Hold on. I want to share this too. Hold on. Matter of fact, I'll save that for tomorrow's live. Since tomorrow's live is gonna be solely on June 19th, we're going to, I might just give you a little breakdown, a brief history about it for those that don't know. I might just do that. I just might do that. But in that process of doing that, I need to show you guys something. I want you guys to see this. Mm-hmm. I want you guys to see this. Why? Because I want you guys to get a reminder on how these people really feel about you. I need to give you guys a visual reminder of how these people see you, your ancestors, your history, your heritage, your culture. I want to show you guys this. And after you see that, I want you to just ask yourself this question. Will these people ever have any level of sympathy/empathy for you as an El Kebulan kidnap? I really want you to ask yourself that question. And when you're done asking yourself that question, in whatever conclusion that you come to, I want you to then look yourself in the mirror and say, is it right for me to continue operating around individuals that wish bodily harm upon me? Listen, yesterday when I was with my client, we was working out in the park in Williamsburg. Now, shout out to the brothers that was at the park working out. But again, this is Williamsburg. This is not the hood Williamsburg. This is Kent Avenue, on North 2. You know what I'm saying? This is that area. And those brothers came on working out, but they bought the boombox. And the music that was playing wasn't Billy Joel. Let's just call it what it is. And you can see as I'm working out, like I don't know these guys, and I'm over here, rehabbing my shoulder. So I'm literally doing shoulder workouts, but they're playing music that I relate to and I like some music, some of it. But I was watching how some of these individuals walking by the park, their level and their face of disgust. And to me, it's like, why so serious? Why so angry? And I know why they're angry. I know why they're pissed off. You see, their hatred for you, brother man, this is taught behavior. They teach their children from young that they are superior. We are inferior. They teach their children from young and they tell them that you should not be dealing with such and such. Are there Europeans that embrace interracial? Absolutely. But we all know why it is embraced. It is embraced for survival. It's not embraced because of genuine love. Listen, people, listen carefully to what I'm saying. There's absolutely no generosity, no compassion, no love from them to you. Love will forever be off the table once slavery took place. Let me repeat that. Love will forever be taken off the table ever since slavery was conducted. I was having a conversation with the Wiz. Like she's literally my ear to when I have 50 million things on my mind and I need to like let it loose before I erupt. We had a conversation. And within that conversation, I simply said, let me ask you a question. And now that I'm about to say it, I want to pose this question for you guys as well. If a European calls you brother, are you offended behind that? Let me ask that again. If a European calls you his brother or sister, are you offended behind that? Now, for me, I am offended because in my mind, it's like, when did I become your brother? Or am I your brother because we are doing business with each other? Am I your brother because you have to deal with a nigga? Am I your brother because of that? Because was I your brother when lynching, Jim Crow, segregation? I mean, segregation was always a wonderful thing. But when all of these things was happening, was there brotherly love? Was I seen as your brother? Or am I your brother now because you guys have gotten the world under your control? I'm just asking a question. See, for me, the reason why I get annoyed and I find it highly disrespectful is because I know your ancestors wasn't cool with my ancestors. I know that your ancestors violated my ancestors. I know that your ancestors would never, ever see a black man as a brother. And I know you guys are going to say, man, times change, things is different. That is the problem. You see, they tell you times change, things is different, but they tell you to get over it. But yet give you a reminder of the Jewish Holocaust. Excuse me. Now, this is no disrespect to Khazars because that's just what they are. We're not calling them Jews. That's a religion. That is a religion. Let's call them what they are. The Khazars. Now, this is no disrespect for the Khazars, but listen, fam, your so-called trauma and the shit that you went through can never oversee what I went through. Well, I'm still going through. It would never oversee that. And not only will it never oversee that, I would never in my life put your situation over mine. And I say this all the time. And I don't want to sound mean when I say this, but I don't care. Just like I wouldn't expect you to care about my problems. I wouldn't want you to care about my nation's problem. I wouldn't want you. But don't force me to care for something of that nature because I don't. Because I don't. And no, I'm not an anti-Semitic or Shemitic, whatever nonsense. I'm none of that. I just don't care. Because what you eat is not making me shit. What you went through, like I said, it does not overshadow what we went through. What we're still going through. Hence the prison complex. Hence penitentiary. Hence today's school system. Hence foster care. Hence the shit that these people got control over is genocide unto my people. Hence religion. And that's why June 19th and June 20th needs to be taken off. Because our people are still going through the madness. And not only is our people still going through the madness, there's nothing that's being put into place to heal. Nothing. You see, at least with these Khazars, stuff was given unto them so they can heal, so they can stand, so they can be mobile. Not the black man. The black man was told, sit your ass down, relax, be happy for Section 8, be happy for food stamps, not to mention the Khazars take double advantage of this, but we're going to leave that for another topic. Sit down, relax, you'll be all right. Life is short. Don't, they give you all the rundowns to minimize the shit that happened to you, but give you all the 12-page Leah notes into why you should honor and respect these other people's trials and tribulations. I could care less. And shout out to all the El Kebulans who's on that type of time, because it's a lot of us. There's a lot of us. And like I said, this is not me being disrespectful. It's just me not letting your hypnosis hypnotize me anymore. It's me not having empathy anymore. Fuck a sympathy. There's no sympathy in this world. If there was sympathy in this world, black people would not be still going through the shit that they're going through. It's none of that. So since there's no sympathy, I can't have no sympathy. And if there's no sympathy, how can I have empathy? You want me to have that, but we're not having that. The people is not having that. The El Kebulan kidnaps are not having that. The ACs and El Kebulan right now is not having it. None of us is having it. We don't want it. We don't want it. This is facts. And this is why we have to honor June 19th. If it's gonna be a pay loss, F it. Take that loss. You'll bounce back in July. Take the loss. Why do you take the loss, guys? Because you're doing this for your ancestors. Remember, your ancestors was working without no labor. They wasn't getting no payments for their hard work. And we talking about hard work. Remember the month of June down south, back in the days when it wasn't no so-called global warming. Every season when it was June, it was 100 and change. 98 was minimum. And your ancestors broke their backs to please these niggas just to be able to produce and allow you to stand today. It's only right that you stay 2 days off. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Two days. 2 days is a representation for the 2 years that the black man and the black woman didn't know that they was supposedly free, even though we're never free. But I'm just doing that for them. I'm doing that for I'm doing that for the Haitians all over the world. I'm doing that for the Jamaicans all over the world. I'm doing that for the Guyanese, the Grenadians all over the world. I'm doing this for the AKs worldwide. And before I conclude, I wanted to chime in on this war that you guys are seeing right now between Iran and America. I mean, and Israel. AKA America. Huh. Excuse me. Long day. Still sipping, still tripping, still pimping. You know what it is. Now, from what I'm seeing, it looks like the beginning of World War III has started. And America is paid to defend Israel. And Iran is a country that creates so-called nuclear weapons. And I seen an article, and the article said that Iran can let off something that can mess with the grid. If I'm lying, I'm flying. This was on Newsbreak. You can look this up. And if it was to go that, if they went to that extreme, millions of so-called Americans would be unalive. Now, for me, like I said, I stand on facts. The fact of the matter is, this is another propaganda. I've listened to William Cooper, Jordan Maxwell. What's the black guy's name? Professor Griff. There's a lot of other black scholars, whistleblowers that used to talk about what you see in here. But one of the conversations that I had was the conversations that I had when I used to be a part of the GOCC Hebrew Israelite community. And one of the conversations that was always had, or what we was told, was when these two countries go into combat, it is time to leave. Now, I was speaking to a fellow brother, and I'm not going to say what the brother said, but I'm going to say what's really going to happen. You guys are sitting back watching this world be unfold, be destroyed, which is intentional, by the way, to bring forth the new world order, which means that everybody's going to be on the grid. How do you put everybody on the grid? You got to cause a worldwide phenomenon that's going to have everybody in a state of shock. I witnessed it. I seen it during 9/11. I seen it again during the pandemic. I seen it. So you must put people in a state of fear. And this is not it. You see, we're too comfortable. See, they got to take away the comfortability. We're too comfortable. So they got to cause the chaos to mess up with our comfort, and you guys are willing to do anything to retrieve that comfort. But I got news flash. The only people that's going to be able to survive are going to be the ones that has the money and the underground Buckner. Now, when I was having a conversation with this individual, I asked questions and he said what he said. And I said, yeah, you believe that? And one of the questions that I asked, I said, but all you guys are talking about Bible prophecy. Look what's going on in the world. But forgot, what about the people prophecies? What about you coming together with him, you coming together with her and creating a strong name? Those conversations don't have. They don't have those conversations. So we are supposed to do what? Sit back and observe and do the works. The kingdom is not by observation. It's by hard work. So I've been in these studies, biblical studies, religious studies for over 10 years. And within those 10 years, I have yet to see a group of religious leaders, churches, organizations come together and say we are one. Have yet. But I know when I used to read the book of Revelations, your Savior is coming back for one church. And while you guys scrambling in hopes that you are that one church that he's coming from is coming from that same church. It's coming from that same church that brought him to you the first time, which is the Vatican. See, you guys don't know the story. I'm here to tell you the story. The Biblos is called the greatest story ever told. That's what they call the Bible. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. I asked ChatGPT, look, what book is referred to when you say the greatest story ever told? It says the phrase the greatest story ever told most commonly referred to the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ as told in the Bible, particularly in the New Testament Gospel, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Okay? And the term the greatest story ever told came out in 1949, World War I, World War II, by Fulton Orslayer, a Christian author and editor. Okay? So the greatest story ever told is always about the life, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus in the Bible. Now, the greatest story ever told, that alone lets you know that is nothing more than just a story. There's no facts. There's no archaeological evidence. These niggas would be like, this is the house that he lived in. How do you know that? I could take my house right here and tell you this is where DMX used to chill. All I need is just 10 Rough Riders in here with some Rough Rider chains, and I could just say, hey, this is where DMX used to chill. And you guys will suck it up and believe it. You see, I don't go based on what they tell me. I ask the questions that they never prepared us to ask. If King Solomon, this is an example, if King Solomon had 500, 700 concubines, then where the heck or how come we aren't able to trace this lineage? Remember, this is coming, this is the ejaculation of a king unto women. Where's these children? I'll wait for it. I'll wait for it. You will never find it. So while this so-called war is taking place and everybody is in shambles, remember, Jesus is coming for a church. That's what you said, right? That's what the Bible said, right? Jesus is coming for a church. What makes you think that your church is the church? What makes you think your church is better than his church and his church is better than your church? What makes you think that? Who's able to do the justification? So if Jesus is coming for one church, that means that one church should have one nation calling on the same name, facing the east, the west, the north, the south at the same time. But you guys are, oh man. You guys supposed to be uplifting each other. But I'm sitting back and I'm watching the fall of these religions. I'm watching the fall of all Abrahamic religion. I can't wait for Islam to get out the way. I can't wait for Judaism to get out the way. And speaking of Judaism, for those that want to talk this biblical talk, let me tell you guys something. The Old Testament was a copy and paste from the story of Aton. Aton. Go look it up. This is where they got the story from. Just like they got the story of the New Testament from the Book of the Dead. They took these stories and they created their own. The Biblos is about them. Has nothing to do with you, El Capulet. Ask yourself this question. What is the fastest growing nation to power on the face of the earth? What is the fastest growing nation that gained power on the face of this earth? What was it? Khazars. How did they get there? They needed your participation. How did you participate? You started to believe in stories by William S. Crowdy and Frank Cherry. And these people told you that you was a Hebrew and that you needed to be speaking Hebrew and that you should be praying, facing the east, get on your knees, call on these names. And ever since you niggas been doing that, who's been breaking down your neighborhood and recreating something that will never be able to help you because you won't even be making enough to live in that shit? Huh? How? You see, when you Hebrews and you want to be Bantus, Come to the realization of that. When you sit back and you pay attention, take belief out of your forehead, stick to the script, not the scripture, but the script. You will be able to see and pinpoint, oh, these niggas has been plaguing with my mind from the very beginning. You understand what I'm saying to you? And let me tell you how real my studies is affecting these people. For those that don't know, I did a whole live about exposing, Abba Christian and all these people that, brought religion to South Africa, the commandments and all that. Ever since I did that, pull up the websites and all that, all of a sudden you can't find no information about Abba Christian. You can't find one information about Abba Christian. I remember I'm like, damn, he was there. He left America and went there in 1896. And the church was finally established in 1906. And he was in the man of control. Him and somebody else. Do you know you can't find that nowhere? You can't find that nowhere on the internet now? You see, every time I bring stuff that's going to break you away from their hypnosis, they're always going to remove. Just like with what's his name? With the man that wrote the Ethiopian Bible. Now, trying to find information upon him is very scarce. Luckily, I keep these shits in my hard drive. But these things are retentional. This is why I'm the one that's being shadow banned. And everybody else is able to produce and continue spreading lies and false narratives, giving you false maps that were put together by Europeans that got black people believing what these heathens have done to you. And we say to ourselves, the devil can't change everything. I mean, bro, if you guys believe this madness, you guys need to unalive yourselves. And I'm just keeping it 100 because you're wasting your time, our time, the time of the universe, and you're just taking up space. Let the next generation, let the next up and coming young man or young woman take your position and let them stand on business. Because only a complete fool will believe such ideology. The world was given unto the hands of the wicked. The world, according to your Biblos, was given unto the hands of the wicked. That means the wicked man has all reign to do what the heck he wants to do. But you guys is telling me some bullshit ass religion. That the devil can't do things because God ordained. Which God? The God that had all the power in the world to just get rid of this man and all the angels instead of allowing us to get caught up into sin after sin after sin, captivity after captivity after captivity. Which God is this? This is not the gods of the El Kebulan kidnap. And shout out to my bro. And we had a conversation and he was trying to let me know that, the El Kebulan people looked up and worshiped, one divine creator. Again, people, these are the lies that you are receiving from the Europeans. This is not true. Okay? The single one Father God, that came with religion. First of all, the Alkebulan people didn't even have a gender role. We talking about the true essence. They didn't even have a gender role. They didn't know what gender was until Europeans brought that into our ideology. You got to understand that a lot of the people that's in Alkebulan right now has been colonized already. The people with the wisdom and the knowledge, the elders that stood before us, they was purposely either shipped or executed or left to die. You have to know that when you look at the universe, everything is with a balance. Nothing can be created, nothing can be established, nothing can stand if there's not 2 feet, 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 toes. None of these things will be able to be established if these things are not prevalent. So when you hear somebody say, "Oh, the Almighty God," you want me you want to go deeper with it, or you want me to keep it in layman's terms? Because if I keep it in layman's terms, we didn't know what these people was talking about. Outside of the Congo, the Alkebulan kidnaps and have no understanding of what these people was doing. Okay? I want you guys to just process that. Okay? It takes 2 to dance. It takes 2 to move. Efficient, precise, accurate. It takes 2. Even for you to shoot an accurate shot, you need both hands. You need both hands on the strap. You can't do it with one hand. You're going to be out of balance. The whole universe shows you that. Don't let these Europeans corrupt your mind. They want to call on Jesus, let them call on it. They want to call on Yahweh, let them call on it. Whatever they want to call on, let them call on it. You just make sure you call on to the names and the things that connects with you. And I'm going to leave it as that. All right, guys. 12 on the clock. It's your brother man from the motherland. It came to you guys live. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Pardon me for the lateness. Pardon me for the rambling. Pardon me. But these are the conversations that we need to be had. For those that has the option to not work tomorrow, take advantage of it. Represent your ancestors. And make sure you call out that Friday as well. So you got 2 days. For the 2 days that they took, for the 2 years that they took on our ancestors, we owe them that. And even though it's 2 days, we'll take that. You understand? Tomorrow I will be on. We're going to talk about, what did I say we was going to talk about? I know I said I was going to talk about something. We're going to talk about, oh yeah. Oh. Excuse me. We're going to talk about the World War III. But I digress, guys. It was a pleasure. It was an honor. Your brother man is back. I'm outside. I will not leave you guys abandoned anymore. I will be here Monday through Thursday, Saturday for the lives. And if I gotta go to the plantation, I'm gonna make sure I bring you alive probably at 8 o'clock at night. I know it's gonna be a lot of work, but I gotta do it for y'all because you see what's going on outside. You see what's going on in the world. It's time for us to get spiritually connected. Not just you, for me. Time for us to start tapping into the El Kebulan, to the El Kebulan spirituality. We need to speak to the and call on the El Kebulan deities and be prepared for this horrific hurricane, not the storm, this hurricane that's about to come. And you already know when it comes to war, the only person that suffers more is the poor. Let me say that again. When it comes to war, the only people that suffers more is the poor. So you let that marinate. It's your brother man from the motherland. Came to you guys live. You already know what it is. It's me. And I'm a holla. And I'm a holla.